How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about former NFL quarterback Colin Kaepernick's brand new deal with Disney, not just ESPN or Pixar or Hulu or anywhere else that may carry the works of the deal, but the entire Disney. I'm talking about the boss of all bosses, the guys that own Marvel, Lucasfilm, all that good stuff. And speaking of boss of bosses, the former CEO of Disney, now executive chairman, whatever that means, Bob Iger, put out a statement about Kaepernick, and I'll place that on the screen before you. It reads, during this quote unquote unprecedented time, whatever that means, we'll get to that in a minute, the Walt Disney Company remains committed to creating diverse and inclusive content that resonates and matters. Colin's experience gives him a unique perspective on the intersection of sports, culture, and race, which will undoubtedly create compelling stories that will educate, enlighten, and entertain. And we look forward to working with him on this important collaboration. Now, let's go back a little bit in that statement before we get to Kaepernick and what this means for him. Unprecedented time. What does that really mean? Because there are a few things going on, but two main things that may have influenced this particular decision, or it could have been both, one or the other. Now, the first thing is obviously George Floyd, hands up, don't shoot, Black Lives Matter. Okay, so during this time, you want to tell stories about race and culture and how to bridge the gap or not bridge the gap, how to create more division, whatever you want to do. That could be a part of what you meant by unprecedented times. You also have the virus going on because let's not forget, Disney is in the business of making movies, number one. So if they can't put out anything under 20th Century or Lucasfilm or anything like that, they go to the studios that they've been working on, that they've been put money into, that they invested into. They're going to lose a lot of money. If they're doing, the VOD, video on demand stuff, charging $20 to rent a movie basically in your PlayStation, it's not the same thing as going to the movies to see it. Going to the movies is a whole experience. If you can't do that, you're not making too much money. Also, Disney has parks. Disney World, Disneyland, they recorded a 63% drop in their earnings in second quarter of this year, 2020. So you're talking about 1.5 billion with it be dollars in losses. So this could be a way to just shore up some of those losses and also to address the issues of racism and stuff like that. You kill two birds with one stone quite literally, because if Disney are being accused of being racist, or if they got any kind of backlash from furloughing 100,000 people and still keeping their dividends and bonuses the same, if you have any kind of kickback from that, oh, don't look at us. We think Black Lives Matter. Look, we got Colin Kaepernick, this whole brand new deal, giving them a bunch of money. We'll put them everywhere. You see? And you can make money from the SJW type crowd that are at home doing nothing. It's a win for ESPN and for Colin Kaepernick. Not so much for the furloughed employees, but hey, at least we as a company over at ESPN look great. So does Colin Kaepernick. Now, to get back to Kaepernick, this series that will be produced as a result of the deal will focus on his life. Like, it'll be life stories about him and also like scripted stuff. So some fiction and some stuff that might not be fiction about his personal life. And it will be produced by Jamel Hill. That is formerly of ESPN, one of the people that was very toxic over at ESPN and contributed to his downfall. When she came on board, by that time, it was pretty much already going down. But she drove the final nails in the coffin, in my humble opinion. ESPN died when Stuart Scott died. May he rest in peace. Okay, he was one of the best anchors. He had a lot of good guys during those times. But once you got too much of the woke stuff and too much of the Disney corporate, hyper corporate stuff in there, it went in a whole different direction. Everybody pretty much jumped ship, and those that were left were like the inmates running the asylum. It's kind of like when you defund the police and all the good people leave, all you're left with is just bad people that'll make bad situations worse. But different story, I digress. My whole point is that she was very toxic over at ESPN, and she'll continue to be toxic producing stuff for Colin Kaepernick. Now, the issue is that this is going to be everywhere. It's going to be kind of hard to avoid. So if you got kids, watching ESPN or the Disney Channel, you might see some Kaepernick stuff. I'm not sure what they're going to do. Are they going to do children's stuff, animated stuff? I'm not sure who it's going to be targeted towards, because it ain't just like a movie or a short special. We're talking about different things. It could be different specials that all kind of tie into what Colin Kaepernick is doing. Now, I don't know the numbers that are behind it, like how much he's getting paid to do it, but I'm sure it's more than the veteran minimum $1 million to play in the NFL, which is why people say, oh, Kaepernick needs to get a call. The Jets should call him. The Chargers should call him. It's like, look, Kaepernick has no incentive to play football, okay? Everybody knows who he is from playing football and now more from the SJW, social justice warrior stuff. They know him from that. So there's no point in going back for $1 million on the veteran minimum deal to play football. Cam Newton, who is, in my humble opinion, a better quarterback than Colin Kaepernick ever was and is better than him right now, is playing on a 1-year $1 million deal for the New England Patriots. All right? 1 year, $1 million. He's younger than Kaepernick by 2 or 3 years. Why would Kaepernick go back to maybe start and maybe get $1 million in a year? The book deal that he got 2 years ago allegedly was worth $1 million. Why would you play football for that kind of money when you can damage yourself? You can mess around and get CTE, breaking bones. You could have long-lasting health effects. A lot of these big, like 6'4", 20+ pound running quarterbacks don't last very long. Look at Cam Newton right now. He's pretty much almost done. And it happened so fast. He's still, in my humble opinion, one of the best quarterbacks to do it. But those big guys that play quarterback and run, you can't do that for that long. Another one, Dante Culpepper. A lot of guys that are big and run like that don't last very long. But Tom Brady might scramble every 2-3 years and looks crazy when he does it because that's not what he does. He just stays in the pocket and passes. He'll last for a very long time. Okay, at a certain point, we got to be real about that and realize that Colin Kaepernick is probably not going to come back. There's no incentive to. He's getting up there in age. He's like almost 33 years old. Why? Why come back? Especially when you can make more off the field. You got the book deal, the Disney deal. You're seen as a martyr. You're seen as Muhammad Ali in the eyes of some, not in the eyes of myself, but in the eyes of some. He's seen as some kind of, SJW, Black Lives Matter, hands up, don't shoot hero. So if I was his business advisor, aside from just me being me and not liking Kaepernick and not liking what he stands for, if I was his business manager, I would say, don't play football. Maybe you go out there and pretend like you want to play football, do these little fake workouts and stuff like that to raise your stock, but don't go out there and play. Don't actually sign to a team. When they want to sign you, sabotage it. Have your girlfriend put some kind of crazy tweet out on Twitter like she does, talking about Ray Lewis and the Ravens owner, slave master. Talk about that kind of stuff so you don't have to actually go play. You see, because you can just say, well, I try to go out, I try to do my best, but they don't want to have me, they don't want to play me. You can be 45 years old running that same game. If anybody believes it, we're trying to milk this whole thing for what it's worth. Like I said, I don't know how much he's getting paid for this, but I'm sure it's in the multi-millions. I'm sure. I am 1,000% sure, especially right now when this whole SJW Black Lives Matter thing is kind of hot. Oh, yeah. You're talking about multi-millions, but that's just my opinion. I could be wrong. It could be 100,000, but I mean, let's be real. Disney, the corporation, not just ESPN, but Disney as a whole, they're not going to show it just on ESPN. It'll be on all their stuff that they want to put it on, that the whole library of networks they own. Okay, so something pretty serious here. Now, as I close, I want to say this. Colin Kaepernick at this particular point in time should be seen as an opportunist. And if that's what he is, then that's fine. But don't act like he's some kind of victim of the NFL. They won't let him play. No, he don't want to play. He wants to get money. He wants to be Black Lives Matter, hands up, don't shoot. He wants to be divisive because it makes money. He put out a tweet on the 4th of July talking about this holiday is racist, white supremacist. But just 2011, he was like, God bless everybody. Have a beautiful day. Enjoy your Independence Day. You see what I'm saying? This is all phony. It's all fake. I hope everybody's able to realize that for what it is right now. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? Are you going to be watching Colin Kaepernick's new TV specials? If you are, let me know why in the comments below. How do you feel about Jamel Hill, Disney, Bob Iger, all these players being involved with it? Is it going to be a dumpster fire? How do you feel about this potentially being aimed towards kids? Okay, how you feel about the indoctrination? Do you think that Colin Kaepernick really wants to play football? Like I said, if I was his advisor, if I was a guy you would come to natural advice for anything like this, I would say don't play football. For what? You have no reason to. All you're going to do is go out there, not even really play that much. You won't be a starter, veteran minimum at best. You might mess around and get hurt from being out there on one snap. You have no reason to play football. Pretend like you want to play and then cry victim, because that helps your victimhood status and your whole brand grow as a victim. That's what I would say. But as you really want to play football and just say, you know what, I got all these deals on the table, multi-million dollars, I'm going to just put that aside and dedicate my life to training and being on the road, and maybe not even really, having any kind of certainty where the NFL contract is not guaranteed. I don't understand why he would do that, but maybe he wants to. Whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.